Hey, good evening. How are you? How did you do in the examination today? I appeared for the test myself and I'm willing to share my experiences with you. All right. I found general English to be very simple. Of course, those people who haven't kept in touch with English grammar, they might have suffered a bit. But overall, I found this section to be very simple. And I believe that in some 7 to 8 minutes, all 15 questions could have been attempted. Do you agree? Please do let me know about your views. When it comes to analytical and logical reasoning section, I believe that that was also more or less equally easy. But if on gunpoint someone asks me to decide that which one was the easiest, I would probably say General English. Here in this session, we are going to discuss all quantitative aptitude questions that appeared in the test. But much before that, would give you some idea about the test. Uh, overall, I believe that the level of difficulty of this test was what it was in year 2021, and hence the cutoffs of 2022 would be comparable to cutoffs of 2021. And 38, a score of 38 to 40 should be able to give you as IBM calls also. So how many questions you attempted in the examination? Please do let me know. And let's start discussing all quantitative aptitude questions. This was one of the questions, and many people believe that none of the options was incorrect, and I'm with them. The language was slightly ambiguous. I'm not sure about the exact language. This is all that I could recall, something that you can see on your screen. Whether they had asked us the length of one of the sides, if that is what the question was, then the answer is certainly 20 root 3. But if they had straight away asked that length of the string, then the answer should be 60 root 3, undoubtedly. So we believe that the best answer here is 20 root 3. Do you think that I need to do this question? There are certain questions that I will certainly be solving for you, but not this one probably. All right. Okay, so let's move from here. This was another question. All right. So here you could get the answer by just adding two standard equations, and the answer is of course option C, x plus y minus 1 into p plus q divided by 2. All right, and please do let me know at the end of the session that how many questions you got right, or rather how many answers you got right in this section. All right, this also was one of the questions. You remember this? Do you? And here, why did we need to calculate anything out of these four? Of course, we cannot be sure about none of these, but options A and B could have been eliminated straight away, isn't that? Look at this number, log 10 cube. This is straight away 3. Log 10 to the power 7. This is 7, so 7 plus 3, 10 plus something. Log 873 will certainly be below 3. If the base is 10, this is log 873. It has to be below 3. 3 minus log 25. Come on. How can it be? Around 7 plus 3, 10. We have just calculated the values of just two terms, and that is certainly above 10. All right. So this cannot be the answer. Even this cannot be the answer. My point is, by just looking at the options, you could have eliminated these two stupid options. So of these two, the answer had to be just one. Of course, the answer was option C. All right, but you certainly needed to keep your eyes and ears and, most important, your mind open. Options A and B were very stupid. All right, I do not think I need to do it, but otherwise also if you do it, okay, what would it be? It would be log of it would be log of 0.873 into 10, and the powers would be 1 plus 2 till what? Plus 3 till 7. So 7 into 8 divided by 2, so 10 to the power 28. So this will certainly be log of 873, or rather log of 0.873 into 10 to the power 28. Let's give 3 zeros to this to make it log of 873, and log of 10 to the power 25 would be 25. So this is your answer. log of 873 plus 25. But my point is that by just looking at options A and B, you should have eliminated them. All right? Any doubt? Okay. Next one. What is the answer to this question? Do you think we ever needed to solve this? They're straight away saying that the cost function is linear. If the cost function is linear, and for 50 pence, it's 450, and for 80 pence is 540. The difference of 540 and 450 is 90. So this difference of 90, okay, is because of the difference of 30 pence. So when it comes to variable cost, the variable cost is certainly rupees 3 per pen. Even without solving it, right? So the variable cost is rupees 3 per pen. Now, the fixed cost would be how much? For 50 pence, the variable cost is 150. So fixed cost is 300. So fixed cost is 300. Variable cost is rupees 3 per pen. All right, they're asking you for 130 pence. So 130 into 3, 390 plus 300. That is 690. That is your answer. This is your answer. Isn't that? Looking for anything simpler? Okay, now here, what is the number of terms in the given GP? Yeah, why did I need to solve this? Straight away you should have written 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, 96 and 192. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. Okay, let's come to the next question. Here, of course, the answer is option A. Hey, what about this one? This is one of those beautiful questions that we came across in the test that you can get on any CAT. And it would be considered as one of the better questions of any CAT. Isn't that? Did you enjoy this? How many of you could solve this? How many of you could solve this? Please give me the answer. Give me the answer and give me the answer fast. Please. Yes, Rahul, Gaurav, please tell me the answer. Alright, I'll give you a hint. After the subtraction, what you're left with, initially you have ABCD. This is the 4-digit number that you have. The 4-digit number that you have is ABCD. ABCD, right? So it's a 4-digit number. And what do you subtract from here? You subtract the difference of AB and CD. The difference of AB and CD would be a 2-digit number. So this 6570 before the subtraction took place must have been either 6500 something or at the most 6600 something. So either 6500 something or 6600 something. Isn't that? So one thing is for sure, that A is 6 and B is either 5 or 6. Without getting into any calculation, you can make that out. Isn't that? Any doubt here? And any guesses what the answer is? I would not give you the entire solution, right? I would want you to solve this question. But ultimately, I'll give you the number. The number is 66. What was it? 18. Okay? So if you take out the difference of 66 and 18, the difference of 66 and 18 would be 48. If you take out 48 from here, you're left with 6570. And at least 6 you could get in a jiffy. 5 also you could get almost in a jiffy. You had to struggle for 7 and 0. Or rather, you had to struggle for 1 and 8. This 6 you could get in a jiffy. This 6 also you could get almost in a jiffy. You have to struggle for 1 and 8 and that too a bit. Alright, but when it comes to the answer to this question, the answer is option B. 66 plus 18, that is what they had asked you to get. 66 plus 18 is 84, of course, that's your answer. Any doubt? Any doubt, anyone? Alright. Now, this also was one of the questions. And here, I do not remember what all numbers were given here, but ultimately it came to, you had to count the numbers, all the numbers which were at least 7. And I found the number of numbers which were at least 7 to be 30. So my answer to this question was 30 out of 40, that is 0.75. and 0.75 was none of the options. Alright? But yeah, most of us, including myself, feel shaky whenever the answer is none of these. So here the answer actually was none of these. Alright. Okay. Alright. Let's come to question number 8. Age-old question. Okay. So straight away it could have been done that when A does 1000 meters, B does 700. And why B does 700? Because he gets a head start of 100 and he still loses by 200 meters. So when A runs 1000 meters, B actually runs only for 700 meters. Similarly, C runs for 600 meters. Alright, in the same time. So when A runs for 1000, B runs for 700 meters and C runs for 600 meters. So C does 6/7 of what B does. So C does 1 by 7 less. C does 1 by 7 less. So in a 200 meter race, C will lose by 200 by 7 straight away. Why did I need to get into any calculation for this? My point is that ratio of speeds of B and C is 7:6. Alright. So whenever, whatever distance B runs for, C would run exactly 1/7 less. Okay, so your answer is 200 by 7, that is 28.57 straight away. All of you know that 100 by 7 is 14.28. Alright, so 2 times that. Okay, any doubt here? Option A. Now this was another good question, and I think this also can appear in CAT. Alright, how many 7-digit numbers can be formed with 52322105? Would you give me the answer? What's the answer to this question? Please tell me. Please tell me. Okay, so not getting the answer from you. Alright, so let me put the numbers. 0, 1, there are 2 2s, 1 3 and 2 5s. Alright, so straight away, if I look at the total number of permutations, total number of arrangements of these 7 digits, it would be 7 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. But you cannot get a 7-digit number starting with 0. And how many numbers will start with 0? Count it out. Now we are left with 6 numbers, or rather 6 digits. So you can form 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial, right? So take 6 factorial, 2 factorial into 2 factorial is 4. Alright, you're left with 7 minus 1, 6. So that is 6 factorial is 720, right? 720 into 6 divided by 4, 180 into 6, 1080 is the answer. Isn't that? Was it difficult? But yeah, of course, this is one of the better questions on this paper. Alright. This was a real good question. This was a real good question, and I'm not going to solve it for you. Alright. I'm not going to solve it for you. You need some real good arithmetic skills in order to get the answer. I like the question. Okay. And the answer is option C. This question also qualifies, and in fact, immediately after the session, when I went live, I had said that there were at least 4 or 5 questions which were good enough to be put on CAT. I believe this is one such question. It's not difficult, right? But it certainly checks you for your fundamentals. Alright, so the answer is option C. If you're not able to do it, just put that in comment section. I'll do another session in which I'll be solving each one of the questions. This was again one of the simple questions, right? Those people who understand the value of 1060 degree, right, and 1030 degree would be able to get the answer, and the answer is 960 kilometers, 960 kilometer per hour, right? That is option B. What about this one? Was it a question or a joke? In a mixture of 75 liters, right? So wine is mixed with water in the ratio 18:7. So wine, I do not know why have they put 2 W's, wine and water. 18:7, 25. So in 75 liters, you will get 54 and 21. Now I want the ratio to be 2:1, so I need to add 6 here. This is already 54. So half of 54, 27, 21 plus 6. So this is my answer. Right? Okay. What about this one? Chawla and Patil. One Punjabi and one Marathi. Right. Okay. So this is Chawla and this is Patil. This is given that the average age of Chawla family is 25% less than that of Patil family. Let that be 100 for Patil family. So here for Chawla family that would be 25% less, so it would be 75. And let there be M people here. So total age would be 75 M. And let there be N people here. So it would be 100N. Now it's as simple as this. That 75N is equal to, this is 20% more than this, right? 75M is 20% more than 100M. So this is 120N. And that gives us M divided by N is equal to 75 by 120. That is 5 divided by 8. All right. So if M is 5, N is 8. So M is of course 62.50%. Okay, 12.5 into 5, 62.50% of 5 is 62.50% of 8, right? That is what it is. Any doubt? Any doubt, anyone? All right. Now the next one. Option D, right? Okay. Now here, you know one thing. If you're very clear with your fundamentals, this question could have been solved in 20 seconds. Believe you me, it could have been done in 20 seconds. No, not many of you believe me, but you will believe me in the next 15 to 20 seconds for sure. In this overall transactions, what happens? Arun sells an article and he gets it back. He pays some money to Binu and he gets some money from Binu. Right? And whatever Arun had given initially, he gets that back. And ultimately here it would be a zero-sum game. So if someone loses and whatever is the amount of loss, that very thing would be the amount of gain for the other person because it's a zero-sum game. Alright, so ultimately what is the case? Forget Arun, let's concentrate on Binu. About Binu is as simple as that she loses 2%. 2% of whatever she had invested. And how much had she invested? She had invested 2,50,000, 5% more than that, right? Into 1.05. Isn't that? She had invested this much. She lost 2% of this. So this divided by 50. Alright, so this is what she lost. So Arun must have gained this much. There's absolutely nothing else that takes place here. So this is your answer. This will give you 5250. So this is the gain of Arun. Why do I need to do any calculations here? Okay, option A, of course. I do not think that I need to discuss this with you. Of course, the answer is 98. Alright. Okay. Let's concentrate on the next question now. Here, and this question can also be solved in many people outside the examination center. Some students told me that calculation was needed in order to do this. I completely disagree. And tell you why. You start with 45,000. Okay. And how much you get? 68,040. If you increase it by 50%, half of 45,000 would be 22,500. So it would be 67,500, right? So overall, the gain is of more than 50%, right? In the first year, it increased by 8%. Then it increased by 12%, right? So total increase is of around 21%, right? Total change is of around 20%, 12 plus 8 plus 12 into 8 by 100. So what do you need to couple with 21% to give you more than 50? It cannot be 10, it cannot be 12, it cannot even be 16, it can be only 25. So the option option A was almost shouting at you that please come and pick me. Option A, of course. Again, you just needed to remember one thing, that there are 10 decimeters in 1 meter. Okay, I struggled with this piece of information in the examination hall. All right, I do not know why do they ask such questions. And if you get that right, I have reasons to believe that you will get the answer as well. That is 100 hours. All right, okay. And then there was one question. So these are the 17 questions that we have been able to reproduce based on our memory. And I believe that there was one question of which I do not remember the exact question, but you had grids like this, okay, and like one of the grids was filled with 1, 4 and 3, 4, 3, 7 and 1, 8. So if some of these three numbers was coming out to be 8, here you had the 9th letter of the alphabet. So the answer was I. I mean, you had I. Here the answer I believe was P, because the grid with question mark, okay, so some of the three numbers given here was coming out to be 15. So our answer had to be 16. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You know I'm poor at it, right? So P was the answer. Similarly, of another question of data interpretation, it was pretty boring, and moreover, I somehow believed that the language was not good. All right, it was very misleading. But answer was probably 28.5%. 57 divided by 200 or something like that. Please do like the session and share it with your friends if you liked it, and share it with your enemies if you didn't. All right. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.